Yeah, thank you guys. Magnus, I'm not really sure what to say. Can you just take me through what just happened?
Yeah, I mean, obviously this has not been the best tournament for me. Yesterday was a difficult day. You know, I lost one game, could have lost a couple more, and generally was not playing well, a bit out of control. Honestly, like I had good sleep, and I had a nice lunch meeting before I came here, and I just went to I just barely had time to go to the room, change, so I put on a shirt, a jacket, and honestly, like I didn't even think about the jeans. So, and I even changed my shoes, but I didn't even think about it. And so I got here, and I don't know if it was after the first game or second game. Like, I think it was after. Yeah, I don't remember, but I got a warning that I needed to change my. Well, first of all, I got a fine, which is fine, and then I got a warning that I would not be paired if I didn't go change my
Immediately.
clothes. No, they said that I could do it after the third round today. Um, I said like I'll change tomorrow if that's okay. I didn't even realize it today. But they said, well, you have to change now, and well, at that point it became, you know, a bit of a matter of principle for me. Yeah, so here we are.
Emil Zutowski,
Hi.
quite dramatic day here with Magnus Carlsen withdrawing, and I suppose you have seen some of the things that he said. What is your reaction to all of this?
Well, first of all, we are sorry to see him withdrawing. We didn't get a confirmation of formal withdrawal from the tournament actually, because Fide did not disqualify him from the tournament. It's only he was not paired for round number 9. We don't have formal confirmation apart of the interviews that he is verbally saying, but it's not a formal, and Chief Arbiter is addressing him now to actually confirm, because he should be not included in the pairing for round 10 tomorrow. I really feel that it might be some sort of a combination of factors that played a role for Magnus, but as he put it himself, for some reason it became a matter of principle for him, which is very strange and something that we wouldn't like to see, obviously. And for us it was important that, of course, Magnus is Magnus, and we would love to see him play. And I think we were very welcoming, not only to Magnus, to his family as well here in New York. And we met several special requests which he had. And of course his participation is important for the tournament, but it would be absolutely not okay to have just a special set of rules for him, because also because rules are the rules for a reason, but also because other participants are respecting the rules. Some of them were actually fined to that effect and had to change. Many of them are fulfilling the rules even if they don't like it, and these rules were not invented overnight. They exist for several years now. The rules have been adopted and proposed and modified by Athletes Commission composed of competitive players, so it's not some bureaucrats sitting, and Magnus knew all of that. So it's just he decided, okay, I don't care.
No.
But if he doesn't care, what can we do? I mean, you have to care about World Championship, I think. And that's unfortunate, and I'm sorry towards, I know that it's very special in Norway. I've been to Norway for Stavanger tournament, great tournament indeed in May, June this year. And I also spoke to people who were already anticipating by that stage that it's only half a year to the Christmas tournament, as you call it in your country. And I'm sorry that it happened this way, but I don't think FIDE is to be blamed. I think we went extra mile, we even gave more time. We spoke nicely to several people, including Vishy himself, talking to Magnus, talking to Henrik, but unfortunately nothing helped.
But this jeans thing today is just the tip of the iceberg for Magnus Carlsen. He says he's, over many years, he's been fed up. He doesn't think this is fun anymore to be in the FIDE competitions. It shouldn't come as a surprise to you when he says it like this.
There are several, I think, Of course, it's tip of the iceberg, as you put it. But anyways, all the competitions he has played, he was always more than welcome. It was also about the World Cup 2023, which he participated in one, and the World Rapid, which he participated every year. And I think he brought the issue of freestyle chess, his project. But I'm sorry, I have to really question his words when he said that, because he never threatened players to if they participate in the series. There was only a question that they cannot have the World Championship title without FIDE approval. And that's the difference. Of course, it's just an independent series of tournaments. They can have it and run it and so on. The question was that you cannot have World Championship without FIDE approving that. And that was basically a point where we disagreed. So with all due respect to Magnus, it's just a disinformation, and I have to refute it completely.
So you mean that he doesn't tell the truth?
No, I think maybe he doesn't accentuate it correctly, because the whole basically dispute was about the ability of Magnus and Jan and freestyle chess to have the thing aside of FIDE and call it World Championship, and that's indeed what we cannot afford to have. Of course, as we have a very nice partnership with Grand Chess Tour, they're having their tour with all the great players. So never mind, we cooperate, we agree on dates not to clash, and after all, our FIDE most important reason for FIDE is to create for players ability more to play more, to earn more, to have great competitions, and we're only supportive of that. But we are obviously guarding body of chess and the only international recognized organization. And everything which has World Championship next to it, it has to be approved by FIDE. And that's where disagreement lies.
Is the chess world divided now, as the greatest player at today now leaves FIDE? Is the chess world divided?
I don't think it is divided. Division means a significant number of people on both sides. I don't feel it at the moment. I feel that FIDE, with the work we do, and in recent years we have a support of vast majority of players. Not just a majority, but vast majority. Of course, there's some criticism here and there, and we accept it. Let's say FIDE circuit, which was organized last year, we had modified it, we did change it, and we take this criticism not lightly. We talk to players. I talk personally to every top player to hear his opinion about formats, about time controls, about scoring system, about way of qualification to candidates. All that is very important. But we also see that FIDE is the only sustainable organization in chess. You can do and tell whatever you want. You can try and smear campaigns that FIDE is an institution, which is, I don't know, many not nice words, which I don't want even to quote. But after all, we are doing year after year number of tournaments on the highest level, and you could see it here as well in New York. Only this year, I think the budget of our top events, top tier 1 events, is about $40 million. And we do it year after year again. And I don't think any private organization which would be, let's say, possibly created could compete with FIDE. Also because we are the only international body. I mean, you cannot compare private organization which is run for the sake of profit or for the sake of any sort of ambition with international federation. As long as federation does what it has to do, but we do deliver, and it's very difficult to argue with the fact. I remember a case of Garry Kasparov back in 1993, when FIDE was completely malfunctioning. You cannot even compare. Those who are following chess would know how bad the situation was back then, when Kasparov departed from FIDE because FIDE's inability to raise money towards most important tournament, to conduct a championship that should be. And still Kasparov called this departure from FIDE by that time his biggest mistake. But today FIDE is so strong, and we would love to have Magnus in. We would love to have him continue to play in the classical World Championship cycle and World Cup in all the events. But at the same time, no, I don't feel that once Magnus will declare that he will not compete in FIDE events, he will have, I don't know, half of the top players teaming up with him. Several players maybe, but I don't think they would be very, let's say, strongly anti-FIDE. Maybe they would be seizing an opportunity. That's possible.
Yeah.
And anyways, we are not fighting players.
No.
That's a very important point. For all these years, we have tried to secure better conditions for players. The prize funds in every tournament which we have in FIDE is more than double within the last, let's say, 6 years. And it's very important for us that we can really run with that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Emil, I have one question.
Yes.
Finally, which is that will Magnus be now contacted? What will happen for this World Rapid and Blitz for now?
Chief Arbiter has already contacted Magnus to make sure whether he participates in round 10, because he now has to be either included in the pairings for round 10 or excluded from the pairings for round 10. Because after this round, like in 10 minutes or 15 minutes, there will be pairings. So either Magnus confirms that he is out and then he is out of the tournament for good, or he confirms that he will continue tomorrow. He can continue, and we will be happy if he continues. From what he says in his interview, it's unlikely to happen. But once again, it's his call, and we give this. We obviously do not disqualify him from event tomorrow, and of course not from the Blitz tournament. We would love him to participate, but let's see what he decides.
Thank you. As the CEO for FIDE now, what do you think that will happen the next day? What will you do to, let's call it, try to get in contact with Magnus? Will you do that, or how do you think about this?
No, I think first of all we shall see if he is in tournament or not. If he's out, if he's out of the tournament, it's very difficult now to say, look, you're out, but let's now think of the way. I mean, that's his decision, and we have to focus to running proper tournament till the end. I mean, you have so many stars here, and I know in Norway it has always been Magnus and all the rest who are just sort of, Magnus and his rivals. That's the whole story. But for us, it's different. There's so many great players here, and the championship is really very, very strong. So we will focus obviously on having great tournament here. We are not shutting the doors. We are always open to talk, and I know also President Dvorkovich always has been trying to go extra mile in his conversations with Magnus. I'm sorry it didn't happen here, that we couldn't find. But when someone wants to push his principle, which contradicts the rules, then things happen.
Have you talked to Mr. Dvorkovich about the situation with Magnus?
We talked. I informed him at the moment when Chief Arbiter gave him the warning, and he was of the opinion that the Chief Arbiter, who is Alex Holacek, a renowned arbiter and very respected one, and Vishy Anand, who is the Chief of Appeals Committee, they are these two who have to take decisions, and indeed that was the prerogative of Chief Arbiter, and Vishy in case of any appeal or dispute where he has to interfere.
You haven't talked to him after?
No, we haven't talked. He's in Europe, and so he's in time zone already. It's past midnight. Anyways, I think we didn't get any sort of appeal, so Vishy didn't have formally to interfere. But in general, that was a call of a Chief Arbiter. It's not like we're hiding behind his back. I fully back the decision of Chief Arbiter not to be, but it was not my decision or call, because it's a decision of a Chief Arbiter in this situation, and I think he was fully correct.
Let me just ask you, are you surprised by the decision by Magnus, or did you see it coming in some kind of way?
No, I'm surprised. I'm surprised because I think going to this tournament, we were also very welcoming again to his wishes and wishes of the family here to get to New York to be here. Also, we had a partnership with Take. We had a studio, and Magnus came there, and he had his time and could rest between the games, and also to be interviewed, and basically nothing really brought into scenarios that something could explode. And once again, even with this warning, we gave him more than enough time to go, and there were more than one attempt to actually talk to Magnus and Henrik and in attempt to resolve. I'm really sorry that it happened, but as Magnus put it very clearly, I think he said, I'm just too old for this.
Yeah.
And what does it exactly mean? That we need to adopt the rules for his feelings, that he's too old to follow dress code, or what's exactly?
Yeah.
Or we have to abolish the dress code all of a sudden. It just doesn't happen this way.
How easy is it to cooperate with Magnus Carlsen and his team?
It's never been easy, but we managed to resolve it one way or another. Maybe, let's say, in hindsight, it was too flexible from our side, which brought to a situation when he felt that he can basically impose any of his wish and do whatever he pleases. And but here, I think it's just been too much, and also chief arbiter here was, let's say, more adherent to rules, which than some other chief arbiters who would do like everything just to not take a formally correct decision.
What kind of requests did Magnus make prior to this tournament, and how did you kind of comply with it? Did you fulfill all his requests, or how was it?
I don't think it would be fair to go in detail, but we fulfilled nearly all his requests.
Thank you.
I'm here with the 5-time world champion and FIDE deputy president. But Vishy, today I talked to you as the head of appeals committee here, chairman of the appeals committee. A big thing happened today. Magnus did not play in the 9th round, and supposedly might have withdrawn from the tournament. Could you give us your thoughts on this incident?
Actually, the appeals committee has no relevance here because there were no appeal was submitted. Okay, so that the first thing. Obviously, it was not a step we wanted to take, but we offered several options. We offered the arbiter said that as long as he changed before the 9th round, it would be fine. But he said on principle he was not going to do it. He himself stated that it became a matter of principle for him. And so then the arbiter simply applied the rules and we supported that.
But were you able to speak to Magnus or on this incident?
No, it's just at one point I went inside and I tried to consult Henrik on what whether any further clarification was needed or something like that. And at that point, Henrik stated that sort of the decision was final in effect. They were not going to concede on this, and then I left.
And this seems to be like the tip of the iceberg. A lot of things have transpired, it seems, and Magnus says like now he has nothing to do with FIDE events. That's what he mentioned in one of his interviews. Is it a surprise for you? How do you take this? Because it feels like a huge sort of a thing that has happened.
Okay, so there is stuff going on behind, but I'd like to focus on the fact that, okay, we follow the rules. Every other player is following the rules. If, for instance, Jan Nepomniachtchi today was asked to change, and he did so. And so he was able to continue. This is a rule also we apply consistently with everyone. And the fact that Magnus simply refused to follow it left us with little choice. It's not connected to anything else that's going on, but in a sense, if he was in that state of mind, it could have contributed to his decision to stand firm, rather than from our point of view where we simply had to uphold the rules.
And for you, does this feel some kind of like a deja vu, or like in 93 or 95, these things happened in the past with Garry Kasparov, and him splitting away from FIDE, and now Magnus doing this, and I mean you were there at that point as well, very closely witnessing this. Do you see some kind of similarities here?
Yes, now that you bring it up, I can do it, but with Kasparov it was fairly clear. Kasparov and Nigel decided this to break away, and even that felt slightly improvised at that point, because Nigel was supposed to be on this boat when he found out, or maybe when he landed, he found out that this decision had been taken. Anyway, a lot of things. Today seemed a bit, shall we say, emotional. He was not willing to compromise, and I don't know yet how to draw the parallels. So.
Magnus sits down,
Magnus is given a forfeit in round 9, and that's it. And he leaves, and like I said, it's very unfortunate because, first of all, we have a very epic tournament going on. We've got a lot of strong players. We have a bunch of new players who some of you might have not even heard of at the top of the leaderboard. Young generations, like great games. And I have a really bad feeling that no matter what from this point forward, this will be remembered for decades. And whoever's going to be on the podium now, I think might actually be overshadowed. It's not good. It's always complicated. There is no black and white, even though we are playing chess. I think within a reasonable stretch, a dress code is okay, but enforcing it in the following way, kicking out the GOAT, it can't be good for pants. He didn't curse at anybody. He wasn't hard to deal with, other than the fact that he didn't want to change his pants. Like, it's not a good look. And I get the counter arguments that I've been seeing, which is like, rules for thee, not for me. You gotta uniformly enforce the rules. Magnus, this, Magnus this, Magnus that. It's all Magnus's fault. He had the option to change, etc. Like I said, it's not completely black and white, but crazy. Let me know what you think in the comments.
But I think ultimately the reality is that FIDE they really they want to have their control, and I think for the people who are in charge, especially Emil Satovsky, he really enjoys that. He likes being able to say my way or the highway. I could also go into my own issues as far as why I didn't have the cameras for this event. And the whole disillusionment that I have with FIDE because of that and around everything in general. But I think ultimately there's no doubt that this will be the beginning of a new era, because I do think that Magnus is definitely going to go his own way. I expect the players to have to pick or choose between FIDE or FIDE or the freestyle, and we'll see what happens. But I think it's very clear now that we're going to end up in a situation where Magnus will do his own thing. I don't think he's going to play FIDE events, and I would say from my standpoint, I think that Magnus trying to do this is going to be a good thing. If anything, I think that it'll probably cause FIDE to look introspectively and perhaps try to reform or change. But I don't think that anything is going to happen before the end of this tournament. Although who knows? Maybe FIDE will say something before the Blitz, and me or other players will be put in a tough situation. I mean, it's really unclear what the future holds.
I'm joined here by Hans Solbakken from NRK. Hello, Hans.
Hello.
We've covered so many World Rapid and Blitz. You've been there. This is the first time ever that something so drastic has happened. Magnus did speak to you while he went out of the playing venue. Could you tell us what did he say?
He really just said that now I'm finished with FIDE. As it feels now, it's full war. That's the exact word he used. And then he turned it down a little bit because of the situation in the world, of course, but the meaning is still there. And he says, I will quote him, it has come to a point where I have done this in many years and I don't want anything to do with them anymore. So I'm sorry to all people back home. It's maybe a stupid principle case to have, but I don't think this is really fun anymore when it is like this. He doesn't feel that it is boiling, like thing is boiling over. He's just sad. He's done this for many years, and it's not so important to play under any circumstances anymore for him.
Right, and but this is huge news. Like, I mean, the entire Norway is following these tournaments. I think it has huge viewership. What does this mean when he sort of backs out?
Well, our understanding and what he says is that he's finished playing World Championship for FIDE, and he will focus on the new thing, freestyle chess. So it's about that as well, of course.
Wow. So Are you kicked out completely? I've been hearing you can come back tomorrow. Like you have a 1-round forfeit. Have you appealed? What is?
No, I haven't appealed. Like, honestly, I'm too old at this point to care too much. Like, like if they wanna, if this is what they want to do, like if this is, I guess it goes both ways, right? Nobody wants to back down, and this is where we are. It's fine by me. I'll, probably head off to somewhere where the weather is a bit nicer than here, and yeah, that's it.
So to be clear, you're not playing the Blitz.
I mean, no,
Okay.
unless like, yeah, I don't know what would have to change for that to happen, but no.
Wow. Before I let you go to your destination of better weather, has this ever happened in the past? Like you've been late, and that's been like a meme.
Yeah.
But have you gotten warnings about we don't want you late or we don't want you to wear certain clothes? Has this ever happened to this extent in the past?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But there was this whole thing where, like Fide actively wanted to. They were actually like going after players as well to get them not to sign with Freestyle, basically threatening them that they wouldn't be able to play the World Championship cycle if they played in Freestyle. So honestly, my patience with them was not very big to begin with, and it's okay. Like they can enforce their rules. That's fine by me. And my response is that fine, then I'm out. Like fuck you.
I don't think anything more has to be said. Okay.
Well, yeah. I'm sorry for for you guys and everybody at home. I hope you have a good rest of your holidays, and I'll see you at some point.
Yeah. All right, Magnus. Enjoy your vacation.